It is graduation time, so now what? 2 million college grads are facing, well, it's kind of a dire situation. In addition to enjoying the moment, they are in debt, and finding a job is very tough.
Very, very tough situation. Here with advice on how to pay off those loans while searching for work at the same time is personal finance expert and host of Yahoo's Financially Fit, Farnoosh Torabi. Farnoosh, good morning.
Good morning.
So I guess we have to establish some priorities here. Priority one should be what?
Have a roadmap. I mean, really just answer these fundamental questions. Will I dive nose deep into this job market, or will I take some time to apply to graduate school? And in the meantime, are you working part-time? Are you living with mom and dad? A lot of college students do end up graduating and living with mom and dad, at least temporarily. So you really have to have a strategy and stick to it.
Given the tough jobs market, how flexible should people be with their job that they want to pursue?
Well, it is a tough job market. 2 million competitors at least out of the class of 2012. So stay flexible, which means don't be so hung up on what you studied or what you majored in. At the end of the day, we all have transferable skills that can be applied to almost any workplace. Don't try to hold off for that perfect full-time dream job, because chances are that first job's not going to be your dream job. And you may have to piece together a couple of jobs in this market, a couple of part-time gigs. Learn how to hustle. It will pay off as the older you get. I can vouch for that.
I'm a huge fan of Twitter, but you should probably keep in mind, if you're sending out 17,000 Twitter messages a day, that your new employer will potentially look at all your social media sites and what you've been doing there.
Good point. I mean, your social profile, your social networking profile, it's an integral part of your overall professional profile, as well as your resume and all those other things. Speaking of Twitter, I do think it can be a really useful way to network. You have to be strategic. Don't be tweeting about what you ate for lunch, but rather what you're reading, what interests you. Follow the influencers and the leaders in the industries that you want to work in, and they'll notice you. I know people have been connecting and actually finding jobs on Twitter, but you have to be really, really smart about it.
And it's not just Twitter. There are other social networks out there. Which one do you think is the best for landing yourself a job?
Honestly, well, obviously LinkedIn, you sort of have to be on LinkedIn. But in terms of communicating and networking, I think Twitter is really, it's getting up there. I mean, rather than just maybe Facebook, because Facebook is still kind of private, whereas Twitter is really a public networking marketplace. It's almost like going into a job fair and introducing yourself to random people.
Paying off those loans, I mean, how do we make the decision on whether the loans get paid off first, a credit card? Is it simply a matter of evaluating which one is the higher interest rate, or is there more to it?
Well, here's the thing, you know, student loans, they're really tough to pay off, and especially if you don't have that job, but there are flexible payments for student loans, especially the federal loans. So while credit card has a higher interest rate, I would say address the student loans first and foremost, because when you don't, they balloon, the interest rates skyrocket, and they're with you till death do you part in most cases. Even in bankruptcy, it's very, very hard to dismiss student loans. We call them good debt, but often it ends up being bad debt if you don't really address it early and often. So talk to your student loan officer as soon as possible. If you're having any difficulties, there's income-based repayment options for those with federal loans, ibrinfo.org, and also deferment and forbearance, other options to pursue.
Farnoosh Torabi, great information. Thanks.
You're welcome.